Welcome back to my next playthrough series. Yes, indeed, we're back to Aeons End. And this time, we're up against the Crooked Mask. So we'll take a closer look at the Nemesis here in a moment. And yeah, we are going to be playing this time with Lash, who's over here, player 1, and back to another version of Xaxos. Xaxos, never get his name right, over here. So we'll take a little quick look at both of our players. Then we're going to look at the Nemesis. Then we're going to look at the cards we can purchase. We've got 3 gems, 2 relics, 4 spells, all randomly chosen. And then we'll take a look at the Nemesis, if I've already said that. And then we're going to do probably a round of play. So let's get looking at our first character, Lash. All right, so here we have Lash. And Lash starts out the unique card Lash has is the Quartz Shard. And it's gain an ether. It says reveal the top card of the turn order deck. You may place that card on the bottom or top of the turn order deck. If you reveal a player turn card, gain an additional ether. All right, and then starts with a spark, 3 crystals. All right, not going to go over too many things here. Played this game 3 times before on my channel. Has 5 charges, 10 health, player 1. And starting deck was 3 crystals and 2 spark in here. And has Quicken Thought. Activate during any player's main phase. Suffer any player's turn, or shuffle any player's turn order card into the turn order deck. That player suffers 1 damage. And you can't use wild card to shuffle in. So that could come in handy later on to play through. And the breaches are set as per shown here on the card. 4 breaches, 1 open, of course. All right, let's get looking at Xaxos and see what that Breach Mage is going to bring to the table this playthrough. All right, so 10 health, player 2, and the unique starting card for this version of Xaxos is Pyre. Cast is deal 1 damage, so it's a spell. Any ally may discard a card in hand if they do deal 2 additional damage. So that can be a 3 damage and starts off with 4 crystals. All right, breach is set as per showing on the top of the card, 4 of them. And let's see, starting hand, 1 Pyre, 4 crystals, and starting deck, 4 crystals, 1 spark. Needs 4 charges to do his special ability here, which is Praetorian Halo. Activate during your main phase. Any ally gains a charge, it discards a random card in hand. That's a random card, so could be bad. Focus 1 of your breaches, gain a life. Destroy a card in hand or discard pile. So that's the special ability for player 2. All right, let's take a look at the Nemesis. All right, our Nemesis this time is the Crooked Mask. Has 70 health. We're not using the increased difficulty. I don't do that because it's already difficult enough as it is. So Unleash. Any player gains a corruption and places it on top of their deck. That player shuffles their discard pile into their deck. Now, there's 11, I believe, corruption cards. They're all different. They're all shuffled here. That's part of this particular Nemesis. And additional rules. When a corruption is destroyed, place it on the bottom of the corruption deck. If a player would gain a corruption and the corruption deck is empty, Gravehold suffers 2 damage instead, and Gravehold starts 30 health, of course. At the start of each player's turn, before the player's casting phase, a player resolves all corruptions in their hand in any order. It says at the end of each player's main phase, the player resolves all corruptions they drew during their turn, and corruptions may not be played at any other time. When a player gains a corruption, that player may not look at the corruption unless it is placed in their hand. So it's kind of mystery. We don't know what's going to happen until it shows up in the player's hand. And on the back, I think there was some additional setup stuff. Shuffle all the corruption cards together, place them face down to form the corruption deck. Did it. All right, we're going to take now a look at the 9 cards available for purchase. Like I said, 3 gems, 2 relics, and 4 spells. All right, so very quickly we'll go over these ones. So the first gem I randomly chose was the Volcanic Glass. It says when you gain this on your turn, you may spend 2 ether. If you do, any ally also gains Volcanic Glass and places it on top of their deck. And it's a gained 2 ether when it shows up in your hand, costing 3. Alien Element, costing 4, gain an ether. For each of your breaches with a spell prep to it, gain an additional ether. So pretty cool there. I like that one, costing 4. And a very expensive, costing 6. Clouded Sapphire, gain 3 ether. Wow. If this is the first Clouded Sapphire you've played this turn, any ally gains a charge. Very cool. Alright, costing 6. Now we're into the relics. Primordial Fetish, costing 4. Focus any player's breach or destroy this and gain 3 life. So we have a card, a relic that can let us gain life, costing 4. And we have Astral Cube, costing 5. Return a gem you played this turn to your hand. Reveal the top card of the turn order deck. If you reveal a player's turn order card, that player gains a life. So again, another cool life ability card, costing 5. On to the spells. Thermal Dart, costing 4. Link says 2 spells with Link may be prepped to the same breach. So if you get a bunch of these together, this is the only Link spell we have for this playthrough. Is cast, deal 3 damage. If this is not the first Thermal Dart you have cast this turn, gain a charge. Alright, so this will be important for one player to just buy those ones. Okay, we have Oblivion Swell, which you had before, costing 5. While prepped, you may gain an ether during your main phase. Cool. And cast, deal 2 damage. You may discard a gem if you do deal additional damage equal to its cost. Very cool. Let's see if we can get that one working as well, before we get destroyed by the Crooked Mask. And we have Scorch, costing 5. Deal 4 damage. Wow. If this damage causes a minion from the Nemesis deck to be discarded, an ally gains 2 charges. Very cool. I like that as well. And our final spell, costing 6, Conjure the Lost. Cast, deal 5 damage. Very powerful. You may destroy this. If you do, Gravehold gains 4 life. Very cool. So it went away for Gravehold to gain life. So those are the cards we're going to be playing with. And one last thing we'll take a quick look at. I'm not going to read this, but I'll just show you the play turn order so you can see for yourself how the game works. And then there's the Nemesis Turn as well on the back. And I will try to follow this correctly and not screw it up. All right, with that said, we are going to be doing a full round this episode. So I'm going to shuffle the turn order deck. We're going to come right back, and we're going to get playing Aeons End against the Crooked Mask. All right, let's get shuffling. So you know I'm not cheating. I'll just shuffle this up because you don't want me cooking the deck, do you? Of course not. So we'll shuffle it. All right, that's good enough. And let's find out who or what is going first. That will be player 1. All right, player 1 is Lash. Let's go down to Lash area and having Lash taking a turn. And the first thing we're supposed to do, of course, is prep or cast spells. But of course, on the first turn, we have no spells in any breaches. Now, we do have 1 spark, so we're going to just get into playing cards. So of course, we're going to prep the spark to the open breach. Now we have 3 crystals, and we have the quartz shard. This is gain an ether. Reveal the top card of the turn order deck. You may place that card on the bottom or top of the turn order deck. If you reveal a player turner card, gain an additional ether. So this is possible to have 5 ether. If we pull the top card of the turn order deck, and it's a player, come on, and it is a player 2. Wow. Now we can leave it. I think we're going to leave that on the top. We're going to leave it on the top, yes, and we get an extra ether. So we have a total of 5 ether right now to start with. And I think with 5 ether, which one are we going to get? I think we're going to get, I think, you know what we're going to get? We're going to spend all 5 ether. We're going to gear up with a nasty spell. We're going to pay 5. We're going to get Scorch, deal 4 damage. And if this damage causes a minion from the Nemesis deck to be destroyed, any ally gains 2 charges. Very powerful. Of course, when we gain it, it goes here. And now at the end of the turn, we're going to discard all of our cards, played in any order. We might as well put that one there, and the 3 sparks there. And of course, then we're going to draw up our 5 cards. So next hand, we have 2 sparks and 3 crystals. All right, that was a pretty good turn. We got a really powerful spell to start with, which is good. And back to the turn order deck. I think we know who's coming up next because we already looked at it. So yes, it will be no surprise because we were able to look at it that it will be player 2. So Double X is going to be taking turn. So let's go down there and very quickly get to it. And of course it means that because we've had 2 players go already, we're going to get closer to having the Nemesis maybe taking 2 turns in a row, which could be very detrimental. All right, well, in hand, of course, again, we have no spells to cast, so we're not going to be doing the casting phase. This is a spell, Pyre, deal 1 damage. Now I may discard a card in hand to deal 2 additional damage. So we're going to prep that spell to our open breach, leaving us 4 ether to spend. And I do believe we should spend it on something. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Should we get some more crystals? I think, oh man, do we want crystals or do we want to get Thermal Dart right off the... You know what? I think we're going to gear up with some spells to start with. We're going to start with Xaxos to get Thermal Dart. It's a link spell, so we're going to keep Xaxos in mind to keep getting Thermal Dart. Cast, deal 3 damage. If it's not the first Thermal Dart you have cast, gain a charge. Awesome stuff. So another good card to purchase right off the bat. And that's, of course, the end of playing cards. We've got all 4 crystals, so they go back in any order we want, which, of course, will be that order. Drawing up a new hand, which is going to be, of course, 5 new cards, 4 crystals, and a spark. And that's that for player 2. So back to turn order. We're going to see who's up or what's up next. Okay, in turn order, it's going to be the Nemesis. Oh, great. Well, of course, the first thing we do with the Nemesis is we would do any cards that are revealed, but of course there aren't any. And then we're going to do it the draw phase, which means we're going to be drawing a card off the top of the Nemesis deck. The first card we get is the Agony Field. Oh, it's a power. Oh, great. To discard, destroy a card in hand that costs 2 ether or more. To get rid of this, and if we don't, it has power 2, so we're going to put a 2 on here. Unleash. Any player discards 3 cards, then draws 1 card. That's not horrendous, but it's not great either. We're going to put 2 charges on that. Wow, yeah, that's something we're going to have to think about dealing with, and that's it. And of course I've been forgetting the additional rules, but it all has to do with corruption in hand and stuff, which we don't have any. Start a player's turn, and the player resolves all corruptions. So all of the Crooked Mask additional stuff happens when we start getting corruption cards, which so far we haven't got any. All right, well, that was very quickly the Nemesis turn. And so we're going to have player 1 is going to be going next. We're back to Lash. So let's go to Lash's play area and see what Lash is going to do. All right, well, Lash has a spark prepped, so we might as well fire it off. That's going to do 1 damage. Woo-ha! So we're going to hit the Nemesis for 1 damage. From 70 down to 69. All right, first blood. And now it is time to play cards and prep spells and do all. So we have actually 2 spark spells. Unfortunately, we only have 1 breach that's open. Excuse me. So we're going to prep a spark there. We have 3 ether remaining. We could open breach 2, or we could focus 3. You know what? I think we're going to spend 3 ether, and we're just going to open breach number 2. So we have 2 open breaches because we brought that really good spell last time. And then we're going to prep our second spark there. And that's basically very quickly. Lash's turn. We discard all the cards we played in any order. Now we just flip the deck over. Of course, we don't shuffle. And we draw up 5 cards at the end of the turn. 3, 4, 5. And we should have, yes, our awesome spell in here now. Scorch, Crystal Shard, or Quartz Shard again, and 3 more ether for player 1's next turn, which of course will be in the next episode because player 1 now has gone twice. And very quickly that's it. So back to turn order deck to see what's going to happen next. All right, turn order deck. It's either going to be player 2 or the Nemesis, and it is the Nemesis. Well, we're going to take a look at cards first. And so we're going to knock 1 power off of the Agony Field, which means 1 more power comes off of this, and it's going to take effect. It's going to unleash. We can discard it by destroy a card worth 2 or more. That's brutal. No, that's what it is. All right, next up, of course, we're going to draw a Nemesis card. Oh, I hate these things. And what do we get? Heart of Nothing. Oh, it's another power. Oh, man. To discard 4 cards in hand. Wow. Or the power, I put 2 on here, unleash twice. Wow, that means 2 of those corruption cards coming to our hands. Ouch. Or any player suffers 4 damage. Wow, that is not nice. But these cards never are. Wow. And we're going to put 2 power on that one. And again, we have no corruption cards, so none of the special abilities is going to happen here for additional rules. And that very quickly then is the Nemesis. Oh boy, this is brutal. And up next, of course, will be up last, player 2. All right, let's go back to Xaxos and see what he's going to do. Wow, this is right. Nice. We have Pyre in the Open Breach 1. So you know what? I think we're going to cast Pyre. This is deal 1 damage, and any ally may discard a card in hand if they do deal 2 additional damage. I think we're going to do that because that's going to give us a total of 3 damage. Now let's look at the hand of Lash. Lash has Scorch, Quartz Shard, and 3 crystals. Obviously going to discard 1 crystal card to pump up that damage. So now we're doing 3 damage instead of 1. So we're going to take the Nemesis from 69 down to 66 health. All right, we're whittling him down a bit, the Crooked Mask, but we're not finished yet. So that was casting our spells, and now it is playing cards time. And we have 1 spark and 4 crystals. So obviously we're going to prep the spark to Open Breach 1, and wow, with 4 crystals, we can buy a good card, or we can get rid of Heart of Nothing, discard 4 cards in hand, and I think we're going to do that because I don't want it to unleash twice. That's just brutal. So once again, looking at Heart of Nothing, to discard 4 cards in hand. We did that. Heart of Nothing is going to go away, so be gone, Heart of Nothing. And we'll put that there because it's not going to come back again. We have 1 charge left on the Agony field. All right, and to end off, we're going to flip over, of course, the deck, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards for Xaxos' next hand. Crystal, 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 and the Thermal Dart. All right. And we're going to zoom out, and that's going to conclude our introduction and episode 1 for today against a Crooked Mask. Don't know how brutal this guy is going to be. Once those corruption cards start infiltrating our players' hands, things might get pretty ugly. Let's zoom out and wrap up for today. All right, well, there you have it. That's the first episode, and yeah, I'll just do a quick shuffle. I always shuffle these at the beginning of the episodes anyway, so you know that I haven't set the deck up on purpose, and there we go. So here we are playing against a Crooked Mask. Looks pretty nasty. We've knocked him down already to 66, which doesn't sound like much, honestly. And once these corruption cards, and I don't know how brutal these corruption cards are from the corruption deck. Yeah, but we've got a couple of good spells in hand now for Lash and for Xaxos. So I kind of wanted to start off by getting some offensive abilities, and then we're going to have to start looking at maybe getting some healing cards in the next episode. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. Yes, we're back again with Aeons End. Really like this deck builder. It's going to be a tough one. Of course, they're all tough ones. Don't know how nasty this guy's going to be because I don't know how brutal those corruption cards are. Doing a first playthrough against them right now on my channel. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.